Is Street Fighter V too hard? Let's talk about it. What's up, my peeps? It's the turtle smashing, dragon punching, titan smashing, zombie blasting, race car drifting, multiplayer butt whipping, the collector of coins, rings, looms, rupees, and tanukis. I got food for self, emeralds for wealth, and med packs for health. I got the double jumps, turbo boost, time freezes, and invincibility. Leveled up all of my abilities. I run Vice City and made the Mushroom Kingdom better, and I am the first human Spectre. This is Mastermind, and welcome back. What's going on, peeps? Mastermind here. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the difficulty in Street Fighter V. Now, before I begin and get into all of that, the gameplay you're going to be looking at is going to be just me messing around in practice, and then later on there'll actually be some matches. The reason why I'm starting off with a practice video is because that's what you have to do if you want to be remotely even decent at fighting games. And when I say practice, I don't mean get in there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, learn how to do the moves, and then you can go online and be effective. No. That's not what I'm talking about. You have to put major work into this. This isn't something that's easy. This isn't something that you learn overnight. And every fighting game has their little gameplay mechanics and the nuances, especially 2D fighting games like this. And I will tell you, they are extremely complicated. Now, Yoshinori Ono, the lead designer of Street Fighter V, kind of promised that they were going to reset the brackets and the game was going to be so different than previous Street Fighters that it was going to really give newer players the chance to really come in and be effective. Well, the game's been out for a couple of weeks now, and I can tell you for sure that that is bullshit. Total bullshit. He did not reset the brackets. Daigo is still going to kick your ass if you have the opportunity to ever meet that guy online. In fact, the top 60,000 ranked players are gonna utterly destroy you in Street Fighter V unless you fall into that category. And that is the reality. I don't know how I feel about it because I consider myself a veteran in the Street Fighter series and in fighting games in general. Heck, I've been playing fighting games since the original Street Fighter II World Warrior. In fact, even before that, I used to play Karate Champ in the arcade. I mean, that's how far back I go as far as video games and fighting video games are concerned. I've always been intrigued with combat and fighting games and that sort of thing. So when fighting games first started becoming a thing, I was hooked immediately. If you go back to like games like Pit Fighter or the original like Street Fighter or like Clay Fighters or even Virtua Fighter, which is an extremely complicated fighting game, but the average person just picked it up, banged on punch and kick a couple of times, and they were satisfied. Same thing with Tekken, same thing with Mortal Kombat. But for the most part, if you ever wanted to be remotely decent at a fighting game, you really had to put a lot of time into it. Just learning how to do a fireball motion on a fighting pad, you can easily just blister your thumbs if you don't know what you're doing, if you haven't played the game. And for some people, just operating on a joystick with all those buttons and tapping it in different sequences becomes really difficult for some people. And but unfortunately, if you want to play fighting games and really be good at them, you're going to have to learn how to do that. You're going to have to build your muscle memory. You're going to have to be able to react to things as little as 3 frames. 3 frames of animation. You actually literally have to know how to react to certain things like that. You have to know different matchups, not just different matchups, but in Street Fighter V in particular, you have to know which normals beat out what other normals and how fast they are, and you have to learn 2-in-1s. You have to learn frame traps, option selects, buffering. I mean, I can go on and on with the different terminologies and the different things that you have to learn to become effective in a fighting game. And for many casual people, that's just not something most people are willing to do. In fact, even veterans like myself and people who've been playing fighting games, how many of us really have the time to sit there and become really great at a fighting game? You're talking literally anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a day just to be decent. Now, back in the day when we had arcade games and we didn't really have online games, you would get Street Fighter 2, for instance, or Mortal Kombat 2. You get it on your Super Nintendo or on your Genesis, and you'd play the arcade mode. You'd play survival mode, and you'd go through it with each character, and it was really challenging, and you had to figure out how to beat the AI, and then your friends would come over, and you would fight them, and if you were lucky, you'd kick their ass, and you'd have bragging rights for the next time you would play them. Nowadays, we have the internet, and you find out quickly how good you really are or how bad you really are when you start playing hundreds of different people online, and you see different strategies, and you see people using characters that you would never imagine to use and then your friends would use, and all of a sudden it becomes way more challenging than what it used to be. See, back in the day, I can go into an arcade, and for the most part, because I played the game a lot, I would beat most of the guys that came my way. But every once in a while, there would be some cat who would come along, and he would just show me things and show me how good I really was. He would, knock me from one side of the screen to the other. And you get that constantly online now. Now you meet that guy constantly online. And it's really, really difficult for a new person coming into this to want to be able to do that. Even myself, I consider myself a veteran, and I am struggling mightily in Street Fighter V. My ranking right now is I'm at a silver. I can be honest, I haven't played the ranking mode that much. I've been really just doing casuals, and I find actually the competition is actually steeper in casuals for me because I'm getting a huge variety of different kind of players. One match I can get a scrub, but then the next match I'm facing somebody who's, ranked in the top, 500. And it's really given me a huge variety of different kind of people to play. Rank mode, even though they say that they try to rank you with similar ranking, it's been a little lopsided there too. But for the most part, I feel like I'm getting more interesting matches on casual, so that's what I've been doing. But nonetheless, I'm still struggling. I'm not at the point where I feel like I should be. I can go and win 8, even 10 games straight, and then I'll lose 4, 5, 6. I've even lost, up to like 8 matches in a row. And it's really discouraging because I know what I'm doing for the most part, but there is so much competition. It's really a daunting task to learn how to play fighting games. And when you think you know what you're doing, and then somebody comes along and demolishes you, that's not really a lot of fun. Now, if you are the kind of person that you're just going to keep sticking with it no matter what, you're very competitive and you love fighting games, then you're going to get better and you're going to see some improvement and you're going to win a lot more matches online after a while. The only thing is, I would say that only is if you take like 100% of the people who purchase a Street Fighter game or a Mortal Kombat game or even Killer Instinct. Any of those people, you take 100% of those people, I'd say maybe about 10% of them are going to stick it out and keep improving and keep playing the game for months and months, maybe even years after the games are released. That's a real small percentage, but those are the people that are dominating. So back in the day when you used to play in an arcade and play at home and you only play like your little group of friends, you didn't really get that discouraged when you were playing the game because you weren't getting destroyed like you do when you go online. I would say that if you're very casual at the game and you pick up Street Fighter V with its lack of single player mode, you're going to probably just jump on ranked or jump on casuals. And I can tell you the top 70 to 80,000 people ranked in the game, and that might sound really low if you're ranked 80,000, but I can guarantee you if you're just casual at the game, those people are going to utterly destroy you. Now, I'm not talking about the dude watching my video and critiquing my gameplay and saying that I'm sorry and I suck and all of this, because you have those people who they just spend an enormous amount of time and they're really good. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average person out there who hasn't put in the time that I've put in, let alone the time that a Justin Wong or a Daigo would have to put in to be able to do the things that they do in tournaments. I'm talking specifically about the guy who used to have his friends come over and he would play Street Fighter, play Mortal Kombat, learn a couple of fatalities, learn how to do a super, and they just want to, jump on the game for a couple of hours on Saturday and kick a little bit of ass and then turn it off and watch the game. I'm talking about that guy. that person. I don't know if fighting games are for that. And that's why we have these communities where they have to get together and really do everything they can to try to get funding for tournaments and get the game acknowledged and get the games even made in some cases. So we have to, whether we like it or not, as a fighting game community, we have to be a lot more inclusive, and we're just not. We're just not. I mean, if I tune in right now to Justin Wong's stream, I love watching the guy stream. I think he's a really funny guy, believe it or not. I mean, he's kind of entertaining to watch, considering that he was just a tournament player to me just a couple of years ago before he was actually streaming. I didn't realize that there was more entertainment value to him than just watching him with a stone face, trying to beat somebody up in a tournament. I mean, some of these people have really good personalities. Maximilian, of course, everybody knows who he is. But as much as you see them train, as much as you see them learn things and discover things, and a lot of them really help out and really give tips. And I mean, I just saw something from Ultra Chen. If you check out their YouTube channel, they really have some great content on there. And James was showing off how you can kind of buffer Zangief's critical art. And that's a really big deal if you're a Zangief player and if you're a Street Fighter player. But if you're just a casual Street Fighter player, or if you're just wanting to get into it, that all sounds like he's speaking another language. That sounds like something you don't even know anything about. When he's talking about buffering and talking about, okay, you can do the 720 and then delay and then press punch. I mean, to some people that doesn't even sound like something that they would even understand. It's not like a first-person shooter, and I'm not taking anything away from the competitive world in League of Legends or Call of Duty or any other competitive esports, but to be great at a fighting game, it takes a lot more than most people think. It's more than just coordination, reflexes, muscle memory, decision making. It's more than memorizing combos and matchups. Even though you have to know all those things, you have to also know how and when to use your meter. You have to recognize your opponent's tendencies. You have to condition your opponent to do certain things to force them to make mistakes. You have to also consider range. You have to consider timing. There's character balance issues. It's literally like playing chess on your phone, driving 120 miles an hour in your car. You have to focus. You have to react fast. You have to have perfect timing, coordination, and be several moves ahead of your opponent to really be great. Fighting games is extremely difficult at a high level. So is Street Fighter V too hard for the average gamer? I'm going to go ahead and say yes, absolutely too hard for the average gamer. But at the same time, it's not really a bad thing that the game is difficult and very technical, because that's what I enjoy. It makes me push harder and want to learn, and I think in many ways it's a good thing. But let's consider this. The person right now watching this video and looking at my gameplay and saying, this guy sucks, no wonder he feels that way, he doesn't know how to play the game, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, consider this. There are people, the majority of people out there, I'm way better than. I'm way better than the average person who plays Street Fighter, picks up Street Fighter. I mean, if you figure there's over like 150,000 people playing online, which is more so than that, and I'm hovering somewhere in the top 20,000, and I'm barely even playing ranked match, I'm better than a lot of people out there. Imagine what those guys are going through if they can't even get a match, they can't even get a round. And I know a lot of you may be thinking, and to some degree I agree with you, hey, you know what, those casual people, let them go back to playing The Sims, or let them go back to playing Candy Crush, or Angry Birds, or whatever it is that they play. If they don't want to put the time into this, let them go back to Call of Duty and play some mindless game or whatever it is. I can agree to a point with that opinion. But the problem with having that opinion is that the casual market is what drives sales. When you look at Call of Duty, I don't care how hardcore the pros are and how great they are and how much they talk all this nonsense when you hear them talk. Same thing with the League of Legends people. It's the casual people who run this. If it wasn't for the casual market, we wouldn't have sequels, we wouldn't have DLCs, we wouldn't have these companies continuously supporting and improving the existing games. We wouldn't have any of that. So we need a casual market so that way these companies can generate money, get sales, and continue to be motivated to do this. Now, fighting games have improved a lot in the last couple of years, and the popularity is starting to grow, and the community is growing, and that's a really great thing. And you have people like Gutex and Mike Ross and Ultra Chen and Maximilian and all these people trying to teach and show off how great fighting games are, but it's still going to be very difficult for a lot of people to be able to pull off and enjoy some of the things that come along with fighting games. So what could they do to make it more casual, but also respecting the hardcore audience? Unfortunately, I don't think Street Fighter V is doing that at all. Maybe as they improve the game and time goes on, it will. But when I look at the game, it strictly looks like a game for the pros. So in that sense, I think it is too hard for the average gamer, maybe even too hard for certain seasoned pros when you consider some of the competition and the way they have their rank system set up. But of course, I'm expecting a lot of that to improve, a lot of that to change, and I'm sure this time next year, Street Fighter V is going to be a vastly different game, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. Anyway, that is it for this commentary. Don't forget to leave a comment. Are you into Street Fighter V still? Are you looking forward to Season 3 for Killer Instinct or the new improvements on the netcode for Mortal Kombat X? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe. Mastermind out.
Until that time, raw rhymes undercover, underground, Danny Glover, undiscovered in my town, but they all
blasting y'all, overcasting y'all, cloudy days making waves, mastermind be crashing y'all. Been a minute, but now I'm just fucking it up. From